Hi.
I didn't know, babe.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Amanda, I'd like to ask you, would you consider yourself to be a good person? Good person.
Yeah.
Okay, good. And the next few questions I'm going to ask you, please realize I'm not pointing a finger because I'm not going to ask you anything I haven't done myself. Okay? But these questions are designed to see whether or not you really are a good person. According to, do you know the Ten Commandments?
Yes. Well, I probably couldn't list all of them, no.
Okay.
But I'm very familiar with them.
Okay,
Kind of
well,
the universal laws of all societies.
there you go. Okay. So do you feel that like you've kept those commandments, so to speak?
Not all of them, because I think they're not my commandments.
Okay.
I think there's some that you can't argue with, like you shouldn't kill people.
Right on.
And I'm a pacifist. I think all instances of murder are wrong.
Right.
But there's some, like, you shall not have no other gods before me. Well, that's a Jewish law, and I'm not Jewish, and I believe in other gods. So I keep the ones that I feel in my heart that I need to keep to be a good person.
Okay.
And then if other people need to keep other laws, then they know right from wrong for them, and that's not my place.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I don't know if that answered your question.
Yeah. No, that's a very good answer. It's very concise. Let me ask you this: have you ever told a lie?
Yes, everyone
Okay,
tells
so have I.
lies.
Yeah, so have I. Okay. What do you call a person that tells lies?
A liar.
Okay. So I would be a liar if I told lies, right? Okay. Have you ever taken anything that doesn't belong to you? Anything? Irrespective of the value, a piece of paper, a piece of gum, your boss's time, something like that.
If you want to go nitpicky, like my boss's time, or a branch from a park, or a flower from a park, I mean, some things we just don't think about, but I have never deliberately stolen anything.
Okay. With the intent of stealing.
Because I don't want anyone to steal from me.
I can understand that. So you haven't stolen anything with the intent of stealing, right? Is that what your
aside
answer?
from maybe accidentally a pen at the bank.
Okay.
But I've lost enough pens at the bank.
That's an honest answer. Right on. Okay. Have you ever looked at someone to lust after them?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's very
That gets everybody.
human, natural.
Right. Now, Jesus said that if you look at a woman to lust after, then you've already committed sin. You've already committed adultery with her in your heart.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and those are Jesus's words. And so, according to the God of the Bible and His standard, our standard's quite a bit different.
Right.
See, His standards are quite higher than our standards. By man's standards, I'm sure you're a good person, and I'm a good person for that matter. But by God's standards, His standards are considerably higher than ours. So, by your own admission, and by those standards, you tell me you're a good person, but then you admit to being a lying, thieving adulterer. Okay? So see, by God's standards, which is a lot higher than ours, that shows you a different picture of yourself and a picture of me as well. Okay?
It shows me that we're human and humans make mistakes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, so pretty much everybody's covered under that, right?
Everyone that's human.
Okay, so by God's standards, and this is purely hypothetical now, okay? I'm not trying to offend you. I'm just asking you, by God's standards, the God of the Bible, okay, if you were to die today and stand in front of God and be judged by Him, do you think He would find you innocent or guilty?
The God of the Bible?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm very guilty of all the sins the God of the Bible has to offer. But I'm not Christian, and I don't think those rules, they're not my rules, they're not everyone's rules.
Sorry, I'm trying to turn
That's
this phone
okay,
off.
I understand.
There we go, it's off.
So if the God of the Bible, if I die today and I find myself before Him, I'm going to be very surprised. And if He deems me guilty, then so be it, because I don't agree with that and I can't live my life according to rules that I don't feel in my heart are completely right.
Okay.
And so I'd be very surprised.
Okay, well, let's just go with what if then.
Okay.
What if you stood before God and He found you guilty?
Okay.
Do you think He would sentence you to hell?
See, this is where the contradiction of loving God comes in. I don't think a loving God would send anyone to eternal torment.
Well, according to the, now this is, like I said,
Right.
according to the Bible says the wages of sin is death. So if we break God's law, then we've sinned. So then if we stand before God in judgment and we have sinned, then we deserve heaven or hell.
If
One or the other.
the Almighty Creator of the universe deems me unreasonable, then who am I to argue with that?
Okay, so you're saying he would probably go ahead and just
Well, thank
agree.
you for coming.
Then God would probably just go ahead and
If we're
send
going
you to hell.
off
Then,
of God of the Bible, of the Christians, and of the Jews, and if all those stories are true and not just stories, then I'm a witch. You know, there's sayings against that, but I don't believe in that. I never have.
So are you telling me then that just doesn't concern you?
No.
Or do you ever think about it or give it any thought at all?
Oh, yeah, I grew up Christian.
Okay.
I taught Sunday school. I read the Bible. I went to church. I tried that, and I wanted to believe wholeheartedly. And I tried, and it never clicked.
Okay.
And then I thought I was a bad person. And then I got so angry that I stopped believing in anything. But I knew that there was something.
Right.
And so, along that path, I came to where I am now.
Okay.
And so, I'm not worried, because I believe in all my heart and all my soul in what I believe in. And I don't believe that I'm going to hell. I don't believe in hell. And I don't believe that God or deity are going to judge me, because I think there's more to life than that.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this. Okay, I'm going back to what if again. What if those teachings that you believed in as a youth are true? What if? Does that ever concern you that maybe,
Well,
you know,
basically the only thing that's changed for me being an adult and me being a youth is that I don't believe Christ is my personal savior.
well, I realize that, but I'm saying hypothetically, what if?
What if they're true?
What if they're true? I mean, does that concern you that you're living
If
the
it's-
way that you are? And
Then the light that I've seen on this path that I'm now has all been a lie. And that I felt so lost when I was trying to live that. And so that would mean that things just didn't add up right.
well, when you
So-
were living as a Christian, did you ever hear that Satan himself is the father of all lies?
Yeah, I heard that.
Okay, so you're saying if it's a lie, and you've fallen for this lie, that just makes you human, like you said before. So what if it is a lie? This light that you've seen is a lie, and what you grew up with was...
Then I would ask why, if Satan hypothetically exists, why was his light brighter than the light of the Lord's? Because I tried to live my life according to that law, the best of my ability.
Where do you get that his light was brighter than that of the Lord's?
Because that's where I am now, and I'm not a Christian now, because I tried very hard, and I wanted to believe. I really, really wanted to believe, but it just... It didn't work like this works for me. And so I would ask God why, when you gave this path to me, and when I try to walk it, why did I never feel it? Why did I feel like I was going through the emotions? And why this other path, this path of evil or wrong, why is this so completely right? I don't think that would make any sense. And so I'd question it.
All right, so you feel very comfortable. You feel that the path that you're on is much easier and much...
Not easier. It's very hard. It's hard, but like everything is hard.
Well, I would go back to what you said before about the light not being as bright as the light you've seen now.
Right.
What if, I'm going back to that what if
That's
again.
okay.
What if the light that you saw before was not true salvation? What if where you thought you were before, you really weren't there yet? What if like Paul saw a light that just knocked him off his horse, and he realized, oh, okay, this is the real light, not the one I saw before.
Then I think that's just a game, and that's nonsense.
But who's playing that game?
Well, I'm not playing that game anymore. I chose not to play that game.
Oh no, I'm not saying that you are. I'm asking you.
I suppose hypothetically it would be some cosmic game between like God and the devil. But I don't think life's like that. It's not like that.
You don't think that God and the devil war against each other? You don't think that
No.
that the forces of evil and the forces of darkness and the forces of light war against one another?
I don't think there's inherently good and inherent evil. I think there's a mix of both. I think you have to have life and death and life and chaos for everything to exist. You have to have both.
Okay. Well, I'm going to have to ask your name again. I'm so sorry.
Amanda.
Amanda, let me ask you this. What if, okay, hypothetically, what if I'm right and the day of judgment does come and you're standing before God and he says, Amanda, I gave you a chance and you turned the wrong way. You were wrong. And I love you, but it's not my will that you be found guilty and go to hell. But you were given the choice. What if?
And I would say thank you for that choice, and it's been wonderful. And to have that choice has been the greatest gift ever. And I would say, if it was God, I probably wouldn't feel fine. But what I would want to say is ask him, why the games? Why does it have to be this way? Why does the system have to be hypocritical? Why does it have to be hurtful and hateful? And why do people have to hate? And it just doesn't work. And so why do we have to go in this game to find beauty and love? But
and I agree with you. It doesn't have to be hurtful, hateful, and angry like that.
And so I would, like I said, I would thank God for that opportunity to choose, because I think that's the greatest gift of them all. But I cannot love a deity that just the whole religion, it does not sit well with me. It never has. And I cannot be okay with my life going on that path.
All right. Well, I'm going to give you something to chew on, okay?
Okay.
If God were to say, Amanda, you're guilty, and I love you and I don't want to send you to hell, but you were given a choice and you chose the wrong path, okay? And God sentenced you to hell for eternity. What if the other option was you were given a choice and you decided to take the right choice? Well, that's like saying that you broke a law here on earth. You went to a courtroom and the judge says, you're guilty, we got you on videotape, we have all the evidence against you, okay? And you went ahead and you broke that law, and and I'm going to sentence you to jail, okay? Unless you can pay this fine, okay? Well, and then somebody that you don't know comes in and they say, wait a minute, I love Amanda, I don't want Amanda to go to jail. Let me pay her fine for her, and then you can let her go, right?
See, I believe in personal responsibility.
Okay.
And I would not, I couldn't live like
Can you
that.
send me an email about the herb class?
I don't have your email address.
It's in that book.
Okay, yes,
Okay.
I will.
Cool.
I'll see you later?
Yeah.
Okay. It was so nice meeting you.
Peace and love.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Peace and love.
Bye-bye.
If Jesus Christ himself said, I will take responsibility for all of your sins, I would say, they are my sins and this is my life. And it's my choice. And if I'm going to be the type of person I want to be, then I need to take responsibility for what I've done. And if I'm before God, and if God says, I'm sorry, Amanda, you had a choice, but you're going to hell, that's a lot of ifs. I'm not worried. I'm not concerned at all.
Okay. Well, I'd like to say when, but I can't say that without offending you.
No, it's not going to offend me.
And I don't want to offend you.
It's not going to offend me at all because I try to be respectful of other people.
Yes, ma'am.
And you've been very respectful of me, and I appreciate that. And so you can say when, and I'll say if.
Okay.
And
okay.
I guess we have...
2,000 years ago, before you were ever formed, God knew you, okay? And he knew that someday you were going to be down here doing this, and you and I would meet with one another. This is not a chance meeting. He knew that you and I were going to have this conversation, okay? And he said, that's all right, because she's going to be given a chance to make a decision, okay? And Jesus looked at him. He said, Father, I love him, and I don't want her to die and go to hell. Let me pay her fine for it. He died on a cross. He shed his blood. He was brutally beaten. And he hung there naked. with no respect at all. And he took on the sins of everyone in the world as a sacrifice. He died for you. Okay? And that's what the message, the gospel is all about. He died for your sins so you wouldn't have to go to hell. He said, Father, let me pay your fines. You see what I'm saying?
I hear what you're saying, and I can promise you I've heard it, and I've tried to live it, and I have no doubt in my mind I've never been happier and more at peace, and I'm so blessed in so many ways. And I don't know, the conviction that you speak is very inspiring, and I love to see someone so inspired by their faith, and I hope that when I speak of my faith, and I'm as inspiring. So I appreciate you're doing exactly what you need to do. So I'm sorry, I don't know what else to say.
That's all right. I'm just saying because I love you, man.
And I believe in other gods. So I keep the ones that I feel in my heart that I need to keep to be a good person.
Okay.
And then if other people need to keep other laws, then they know right from wrong for them, and that's not my place.
Okay.
So
okay.
I don't know if that answered your question.
Yeah. No, that's a very good answer. It's very concise. Let me ask you this: have you ever told a lie?
Yes. Everyone tells lies.
Yeah. So have I. Okay. What do you call a person that tells lies?
A liar.
Okay, so I would be a liar if I told lies, right? Okay. Have you ever taken anything that doesn't belong to you? Have you ever looked at someone to lust after them?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's very
that gets everybody.
human, natural.
Right. Now, Jesus said that, if you look at a woman to lust after, then you've already committed sin. You've already committed adultery with her in your heart. Mm-hmm. Okay, and those are Jesus' words. And so, according to the God of the Bible and His standard, our standard's quite a bit different.
Right.
See, His standards are quite higher than our standards. By man's standards, I'm sure you're a good person, and I'm a good person for that matter. But by God.
Hi.
I didn't know, babe.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
For the group.
Amanda, I'd like to ask you, would you consider yourself to be a good person? Good person.
Yeah.
Okay, good. And the next few questions I'm going to ask you, please realize I'm not pointing a finger because I'm not going to ask you anything I haven't done myself. Okay? But these questions are designed to see whether or not you really are a good person. According to, do you know the Ten Commandments?
Yes. Well,
Anything. Irrespective of the value, a piece of paper, a piece of gum, your boss's time, something like that.
If you want to go nitpicky like my boss's time, or a branch from a park, or a flower from a park, I mean, some things we just don't think about, but I have never deliberately stolen anything.
Okay, with the intent of stealing.
Because I don't want anyone to steal from me.
I can understand that. So you haven't stolen anything with the intent of stealing, right? Is that what your
aside
answer?
from maybe accidentally a pen at the bank.
Okay.
But I've lost enough pens at the bank.
That's an honest answer. Right on. Okay.
I probably couldn't list all of them, no.
Okay.
But I'm very familiar with them.
Okay,
Kind of
well,
the universal laws of all societies.
There you go. Okay. So do you feel that, like you've kept those commandments, so to speak?
Not all of them, because I think they're not my commandments.
Okay.
I think there's some that you can't argue with, like you shouldn't kill people.
Right on.
And I'm a pacifist. I think all instances of murder are wrong.
Right.
But there's some, like, you shall not have no other gods before me. Well, that's a Jewish law, and I'm not Jewish.